Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily story with a chapter from one of my novellas. Before I start today's chapter, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this book and any of my other fiction, then they're all available from all major ebook retailers. You can order the paperback and hardback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore and local library if you requested. Also, if you want the AI generated audiobook, then you can get it from selected audiobook platforms and library systems like Kobo, Spotify, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Baker & Taylor, Biblioteca and Overdrive. Now, here's today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did writing it.
Chapter 1. Queen Augusta Windsoro used to love the absolutely wonderful Valley of Gold when she was a child, because it was just such a magical place. She loved running through the wide open fields, waving like a crazy child at the farmers that worked the fields, and she was even told off a few times for stealing strawberries from the immense steep slopes that lined the valley. She had spent so much wonderful time here with her mother and father, and her brother before they all died. They would sing songs, take part in the duties, and help the farmers, and they would reward everyone in their kingdom of Octogi for their amazing work. And even now Augusta loved her wonderful people. The people she loved, protected, and would ultimately sacrifice herself for them. But that valley from her childhood was most certainly dead. Augusta stood in the middle of a wide open field, with immense steep slopes made from grey dirty rock rising above her, and the golden dots of her military had thankfully secured the top of the valley for her. The valley was once filled with lush green grass, crops and joy, but now the ground was cracked hard and charred. The entire valley had been burnt, all the juicy delightful crops were destroyed, and so many corpses laid around her. Ever since Augusta had peacefully taken over the kingdom of Lordago and Longmano, through less peaceful means, she had changed her military to become a very effective fighting force, but clearly it wasn't enough to save the brave men and women that lay dead like fish around her, as she almost swam in a sea of the dead. She knew that a detachment of her military was riding through the valley on their way to help strengthen the border with Jasper, the last free human land that was also the most powerful, brutal and evil of the human kingdoms. But that was clearly never going to happen. She recognized a lot of the armor here. It was beautifully golden, well-crafted and bore her family's crest proudly on the breastplate, but she also recognized the cold bronze armor of Jasper soldiers. It was always one thing for Jasper to repeatedly send her threats, assassins to kill her, and threaten to burn her country to the ground, but invading this far into her kingdom, that was something else entirely. "This is a mess," a very sexy male said. Augusta grinned when her boyfriend Charleston stood next to her, in his tight-fitting and very beautiful silver knight armor. He was the best man she had ever known, he was so brave, delightful and clever. And even though it had been a year since they had started dating, ever since Longmano became part of her growing empire, she still loved every single day and night with him. The air smelled awful with hints of rotting flesh, smoke and charred flesh, so much so that it overwhelmed her senses, and Augusta coughed again and again. She really hated Jasper. "Jasper's gone too far this time, and these attacks are only getting closer to home," Charleston said. "You do remember Owen's boyfriend was assassinated only last week?" Augusta bit her lip. She truly loved Charleston's brother Owen. He was a king in his own right, and it was just annoying as hell as gays could marry but they weren't allowed to be king. But she had made him de facto king of Lordago. It was amazing, and he had found love recently, but Augusta still couldn't forgive herself for allowing the assassination to happen. Maybe if she gave him more guards, more protection, more of everything, none of this ever would have happened. "You know the kingdom will want answers and a plan," Charleston said. Augusta hated it sometimes that he was always more regal and political than she was. All she cared about was protecting her people, the people she loved, and her borders from invasion. "You're right," Augusta said. "The generals, and the 2 Lord Governors of Lordago and Longmano, will want a report on what I intend to do about Jasper." Augusta didn't really want to tell Charleston that she had read a spy report only yesterday that said that Jasper had 200,000 cavalry on their border, and that wasn't including the 1 million soldiers and 2,000 steam tanks. The invasion was going to happen very, very soon. Augusta had tried to defuse the situation for ages by sending emissaries, ambassadors, and even assassins, but they all came back dead. "What are you going to do?" Charleston asked. Augusta just grinned at him. "I'm going to take Jasper before they take us." Charleston nodded and whistled, and the military raced towards them to collect them. Augusta knew there was a hell of a lot of planning to do, and not a lot of time to do it in.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.